Welcome to the international community here in a viral channel and all the people here at the headquarters in the same room as we are. Welcome to this session, to this very special interview we were invited to. We are actually having a session, an interview session, interviewed by cards. So we got some cards, and we have to work our way now through all those cards. So let us see where the journey is leading us. But first, Ricarda, being here now CEO for the last 1.5 years, so one important learning out of that 1.5 years, what would you say?
Super difficult question. I mean, there are so many learnings and every day more learnings. And I actually, I sit down every night and I reflect on what I could do better, 2 things I could do better, and 1 thing I do well. Because if you only tell yourself what you can do better, it's not helping the brain either. And actually, so for my learning, what has been a game changer in that reflection is asking myself why I didn't do better. And that's super powerful because you learn how to set yourself up for success. But if I have to tell you one, then it's probably that 1 letter changes everything from the CFO to a CEO, so an F and an E. It changes everything. Still the same person, still the same leadership beliefs, and yet my words, they resonate differently. And so my learning is that I need to be even more deliberate in what I say and what I also not say.
Yeah. So it's all about letters.
An E and an F. And how about you? You've been with me 25 years. I've now known you for 5 years. And I admire you. I see you grow every year, and I see you shine brighter and brighter. How do you do that? How do you continue to learn?
Thank you for the compliment. 25 years, and makes me not that young anymore. Yeah, I think it's all a matter of mindset. First, I really believe learning new things is just a great opportunity. And knowing things is just a great thing. And I have so many interests, and I often sit at the table eating dinner with my husband, and then we are talking about things, and he said, how is this? And I don't know, let us Google. So we have always a tablet next to us, and always learning new stuff, because it's just interesting to get new ideas, new things to learn. And then I really have a strong engine getting better, to get better. It really drives me, because I think it's my responsibility to make the best out of my potential. So it's my responsibility to myself doing that. And then, yeah, when I'm stuck somewhere, sometimes I'm like, and it really bothers me. And then I always try to get out of it by thinking, what can I change to get out of this situation? And it's not the environment I can change, but I can change myself. And so these 3 things, so this really hunger for more knowledge, this mindset to get the best out of me, and always inviting myself again, helps me to stay on my toes.
Very good.
So let's see, what is the first question here? Oh.
Oh my God.
What does learning mean for you as our CEO, being responsible for our organization?
Okay, that's an easy one. I think learning and daring to reinvent yourself, as you just outlined, has never been more important. I, in fact, think there's a premium on curiosity and on learning, because we are in a time the world changes so fast, and technology disrupts every business and every aspect of our life. And I think actually what you know today is less important than what you may learn tomorrow. And having the answer is less relevant than actually asking yourself in the first place, what's the right question that we need to have an answer to? And if you look around, the single biggest driver for business impact is an organization's learning power. Mm-hmm. So I not only need you all to learn because it's fun, because it gives energy, it opens up new opportunities. I need all of you to learn because that's what determines Emmy's success.
Mm-hmm. Powerful.
We are celebrating Sustainability Day, and I can see it actually from the bicycle stand. So many bicycles. And we're talking about learning culture, we're talking about trust, we're talking about psychological safety. What's the connection, Nathalie?
Yes, looking at the sustainability tree, we have it here on the screen. We have one branch that says people, and I would say there is the first link. And in the people branch, we have one big focus topic telling us people development is important. Then on the development side, it's about learning new things, as you said. It's also about improving skills. It's also about growing as a person, growing as teams. And as you said, that can be cool, that can be fun. All of us really powerful driving that. Or sometimes it also can be a little bit scary, knowing what's coming and knowing what kind of steps we have to do. So we have to go out of that comfort zone. And we all know when it's outside of the comfort zone, we kind of need a safe environment. So it's about trust, it's about psychological safety, to be able to make that step out of our comfort zone.
Mm-hmm. And could you elaborate a little bit more on the trust that is needed and the concept of psychological safety?
Yeah, being children, I said that at the X Days already, being children, we are really learning a lot. I mean, we are born and knowing nothing, not being able to do anything else than drink and cry. And we learn very lighthearted. When you're looking at small children, how they learn to walk, how they learn to eat. So they're trying again and again and again and again. And it doesn't matter if they fail or making mistakes, they just stand up and trying again. And then growing up, we lose that kind of lightheartedness because we learn that our society rewards success. And then we start to be more careful and less lighthearted. So we lose part of that learning courage, that learning lightness we are having. And we are more aware of the reaction of our surroundings. And then in the business context, it's even harder because success is even more important than in our private lives. And when learning should be experimenting or exercising and making mistakes and failures and learning out of our failures, we need training situations. And when you see an artistic training where people try really very complicated things, they need safety mats, they need safety belts, they need a trainer standing there and holding them. And that's actually what is trust and psychological safety all about. Knowing that somebody is there holding me when I fail, when I fall, and also an environment that let me train, let me exercise, let me do these steps, and not saying, oh, it's nice that you're trying new things, but you failed, boom. So it's this safety, it's this trust that is needed that we can do the steps. Psychological safety, that's the next question. We are really good with this. Huh? What does psychological safety really mean?
Yeah, so I think you've said it really beautifully in a picture. It is to feel safe, yeah, and it is, you feel safe, so therefore you can take a risk, yeah. And because only when you make that step, as you said, outside the comfort zone, you actually learn something new. You're going to be innovative, creative, can solve new problems. And if you look at the concept of psychological safety, it has 4 elements. It has an inclusion safety, so everyone feels part of the team. Feels valued, experience matters, title are not important, it's the best foot forward, the best idea counts, it's not the most senior person. Then the second element is learner safety, is exactly what you said. It's safe to learn through questions, it's safe to learn through trying out new things, and someone's got your back when things go wrong. A very important point is contributor safety. It's safe to comment. It's safe also to engage and interact, even though maybe you don't know, and maybe actually it's a very stupid idea, but it doesn't matter. It's important that you take that step forward and ask that question and contribute. And I think one of the most powerful one is the challenger's safety. It's when maybe the most senior person in the room says something and you stand up and you say, I disagree. And I think these 4 elements are so important, and they will also help us as an individual, but also us as teams or us as Emmi progress.
So probably picking up on that contribution safety, even worse that not being courageous to say or to add to something is that people are just not doing it anymore because they think nobody cares what I think, what I would like to add, what I would like to learn. Yeah. Statistics also show that so many people seems to be internally resigned. So being here, making a job, but not engaged anymore. And that psychological safety can also help us to have more people engaged at the end, because we are interested in what they want to learn, what they want to challenge, what they want to contribute.
Yeah. And now you've been 25 years with Emmi. You've seen so many teams, successful ones and less successful ones. In your opinion, what does it take to get to such a state of psychological safety?
What I learned is it's not easy and it's not simple, and it's a constant journey. Yeah. So it's something we have constantly to work on, because when we have a different team again, we have to start again to work on that psychological safety. But one of the most important thing I think is leading by example. So it's about owning my mistakes as a leader. I mean, also be aware of my prejudices. So often we don't realize that we look at something just from one perspective. Then also asking for feedback myself, and also giving feedback in a good way, and then also stay curious, stay on my toes, and also showing that I can learn, I want to learn. And as you said in the beginning, your biggest learning that a letter is changing all. It's being aware of my own leadership behavior. So everybody should be aware of their behavior, but even in leadership it's even more important, because sometimes what I would like to send, it's not what people receive. So how do people react on my behavior? And I have just to ask. I have to ask, so what is your reception or perception of what I just said, just did, and making sure that we learn from that as well. But also, somebody's making a mistake. Sometimes I'm so rushed, and then I'm kind of itchy in saying, hey, that wasn't really good. But in this moment, also say, hey, yeah, sorry, my reaction wasn't probably that very helpful, but let us learn out of those mistakes that we don't do it again, or somebody else is not doing it again. And coming back to that later is important.
I have actually just, I was going for an interview together with Lorena, I think she's here as well. And Lorena, and there she is, in the train she asked me, we were going to Zurich to the NZZ for an interview, and she asked me, so what is it you actually want to achieve today? And I told Lorena, I want to make sure that before I answer any question, I count to 3, because your answer is going to be different when you don't rush. Absolutely. That's system 1 and system 2. Yeah. So counting is powerful.
Sometimes not just to 3, sometimes sometimes you need to count to 10. Yeah. So what are possible challenges from your point of view along this way?
Yeah, I think one is it takes time, and it's cultural change, and cultural change takes time. And then second one is to tell yourself no one is perfect, and it's not about, no one expects us to be perfect. It's about getting better every day. And then I think the third one for me is what you said before, intent is not perception. And that's also something I realize as a CEO now. I love to learn, and I love to understand why certain things or how certain things work, and I ask lots of questions, and sometimes people think, oh my God, she's putting her nose into things where her nose doesn't belong to. I only want to learn. I don't want to manage the business. I just want to learn. But it's so it's very important to be aware of intent and perception, I think, and then as everything in life is one step at a time. Mm-hmm. What else do we have? So now it's for you. What do you encourage the audience to do now? Should we change seats here to have someone else?
Yeah, that would be good. So probably I would start to see learning as a privilege. I mean, we all grew up and we had to go to school. Every morning we had to go to school, and asking probably in the public, so how many times as children you thought, I would love to stay at home. But also school is a privilege. It's not everybody that can do that. And I mean, especially in our world, everybody has access to knowledge, and it's just something we have to cherish also. Then making learning probably part of your life. I still struggle to manage that my own agenda, that I have really also windows to learn. And sometimes I end up a week and my little space to learn or to have a moment of reflection is gone again. But it's so important that we kind of take that as serious as everything else. And we can't just be in the performance zone and delivering, because tomorrow we need to know other things. And so I can only encourage all of you to start managing your learning time. And it's not just making sure that you have a course somewhere or go to an education. It's about the daily interaction with learning. And then also, I would love to encourage everybody to ask for learning opportunity if they are not given to you. So make sure that you challenge your leaders, your managers, your team also when it comes to learning opportunities. It's so important. What else?
I think asking for feedback.
Yep.
Providing for feedback. Actually, last year I went to all the functional days and I asked all the functional colleagues, I asked them 3 things, what is great about the ME culture, and 3 things, what can be improved in the ME culture. And it was so interesting. Every single functional day had more or less the same feedback. And on the improvement side, it was be better at giving feedback. Providing feedback. asking for feedback and also asking for other people's opinions. You learn so much by just asking. I always ask people, what would you do if you were a CEO? And you learn so much through that question.
And it's also interesting that sometimes people need another encouragement to really say what they are thinking. So that shows that we are not doing it enough, asking for feedback. I would also say, hey, please take time with your teams, with your colleagues to think about learning, psychological safety, the trust, and thinking about what is good and what can we change as a team. We don't have to wait until the CEO is coming and asking us. We can also start doing things in ourselves we are having and growing that kind of spirit.
So maybe to close off then, I think the cards, they have less and less on them. To close off, I would love to take this as a learning opportunity for us as a group now. I said in the beginning why learning is so important for our progress as a group, but also for our progress as individuals. So taking this as an opportunity, how can we as a company improve our learning and improve of being an even more safer place? Yeah. What can we do as a company to improve learning and psychological safety? And I would love for you to spend a few minutes and entering that into the chat. And Natalie and I, we have a meeting at 5, and we would love to see some comments in the chat, and we'll reflect on that. Because what you said before is so powerful. If we ask and if we don't, we will not be able to execute on everything. But for sure, we're going to prove that we execute on something.
Very well, and all the public standing here and not being able to chat right now, we are also open to direct comments and the direct feedback into that. So there is one last question here. What comes next in the program? And actually what comes next is the big award ceremony when it comes to our big global competition we had with all the teams providing insights how they learn and how they grow. And we will see you back, hopefully all of you back in 30, almost a little bit more than 30 minutes at 4. And we are looking forward to see who won the competition. And therefore, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to us, and hopefully go and help us to provide more insights how we can learn better. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.